This program is about unsolved mysteries. Whenever possible, the actual family members and police officials have participated in recreating the events. What you are about to see is not a news broadcast. During the Apocalypse War, a tank, seemingly possessed, turned on American soldiers. Survivors claimed a ghostly Confederate general appeared atop the tank. It was then an unknown soldier, a bandaged woman, rescued everyone. Was this tale a ghost story? Well, one thing is certain. Some wars never end.
Kindness, so rare in the cosmos. So the Uranians are a rare breed indeed. Evolving on Uranus, the species absorbs any and all stimuli to survive and evolve. Once visited by an elder of the universe known as Mentor, the Uranians evolved from his action, his words, his observable logic. They kept secret and safe the quantum bands of Eon. In 1961, Robert Grayson rejoined the Great Communion. Eventually, the quantum bands were passed to his successor, Wendell Vaughan. Grok on, Robert. Grok on. 1591. England. Lord Andrew Bennett was, despite his noble birth, a simple man. Too simple. He practiced the same respect to both commoner and king alike. And why not? Everyone bleeds red. Despite his behavior earning him accusations of treason to his class, Andrew was betrothed to Lady Mary Seward. She took temper with Andrew's egalitarian ways. During a social gathering, Lady Seward was introduced to a Count Romanoff. By firelight, he regaled the nobles with fantastically macabre tales. These tales of a dark god whose children infected mortals with a bloodlust. As other nobles shivered, even fainted, Mary delighted in the obscene tales. For she interpreted an allegory for why the class structure works. Humans are animals, some domesticated, others merely tamed. Still most are feral and wild, shackled with the food chain. Attracted, Romanoff seduced Mary and drank her blood. She arose from her grave to wander the night's Plutonian shore. When Andrew discovered her disturbed grave, he encountered what she had become, a vampire. Seeing Andrew as the Adam to her Eve, Mary offered her blood and coerced him to drink it. So began the unholy quest of Mary, Queen of Blood. Tonight, Andrew Bennett wanders, thirsty. And why does he thirst? Because, whether commoner or king, everyone bleeds red. Dorothy Walker was not at all a pretty girl. Despite diets, skincare routines, exercise and fashion tips, she simply could not get herself together. She simply could not improve herself. So, she overcompensated by being book-smart and talented, but her social capital remained worthless. She was a Velma among Daphnes. Enterprising, Dorothy organized beauty pageants. She masked her enjoyment when pretty girls lacked talent. She masked her jealousy when pretty girls exhibited it. Despite her low self-esteem and plain Jane looks, Dorothy married a rather attractive gentleman. Of course, she rubbed her husband's attractiveness in everyone's face. Living vicariously, Dorothy drilled her daughter Patsy in the finer details of singing, dancing, musicianship, acting, writing, and interviewing. Now her daughter's maniacal manager, Dorothy founded Walker Talent Bookings. A stage mom, Dorothy was compared to the likes of Deborah McCurdy, Terry Shields, and Jamie Spears. Uh-oh. Swashbuckling, berserking, feasting, the Warriors Three venture into Durain to defeat their apocalyptian counterparts. Hogan, Volstagg, and Fandral are out to drink mead and kick ass. And they're all out of mead. New York City. Clock, the AI major domo of the Watchtower, is an Eternium clock whose timer is set to open an Eternium vault. The masters ask, "What's inside?" The general answers, "Not what, who." Clock reveals that Sentry imprisoned himself in an Eternium vault as his mind was unraveling, and reality along with it. Like Neverland, from Peter Pan's Forgetfulness. Clock has been set to cycle Hypertime 2.0 in a time loop. The villain removes his goggles. Who is he? He is General Jack Helfer, military liaison from Command D to Tyler Chemo Robotics. The general ordered different formulas and applications of Miraclo-X. Subjects were lured from disposable populations, homeless, foster care, asylums, prisons, juvenile detention, and eventually, stateless. Robert Reynolds was the sole surviving test subject for Miraclo-X. Laced with rare X element, Miraclo-X caused either madness, catatonia, mutation, or unreality. A comics reader, Robert reshaped into Ultra, the living comic book. Of course, he lost touch with reality. A being called the Great Darkness remolded him into the empty hand. However, Robert faced that reality and tore himself into separate beings. Robert Reynolds, Derelict. Arl, avatar of superheroes. And the Void, avatar of supervillains. But reality rhymes as often as time repeats, and so Robert again ingested Miraclo-X. This time, he became the Sentry, the Golden Guardian of Good. Command D's staff, including Helfer, were reshaped into a rogues gallery. Fellow test subjects were reshaped into sidekicks and allies. Arl chose Sentry as his agent, and now the Void has chosen Billy Turner, the former scout, as its own agent, the Sentinel. The Sentry is needed once more, now, more than ever. The Void is here. Unlock the vault. Now. Ragnarok, death of the Third World. Mageddon, last invention of Pericus the Forger, ignites. The old gods die, screaming. Now, the Fourth World. Those surviving old gods are scattered across the infinite frontier of Light Force and Dark Force dimensions. Before its shell, its source wall, can harden, Reality 616 is where multiple old gods crash land. One is Zhalla'kla. Neutered, he composes a spell in the Darkhold to sire a child. Nocturnal like him, hidden in plain sight during the day, this child, ancestor to Jacob Russoff, preys upon the travelers of the night. Of course, Khonshu took issue. The god figured if Zhalla'kla could have agents, then so could he. Howl in despair, Zhalla'kla, for the Moon Knight is upon you. The World Army is the codename for Earth's daring, highly trained special mission force. Its purpose? To defend Earthling freedom against Apocalypse, a ruthless realm determined to rule the universe. In today's episode, Commander Amar Khan proposes Project Society. The task? To build arcs for if and when Apocalypse returns. Abducting passengers for these arcs is the task of Extract, a hypertime-displaced variant of Cameron Chase. Anyone want a body massage? Imagine never losing the minds of your greatest heroes. To never lose their wills, their wisdom, or their regrets. Utilizing cybernetics and quantum encoding, Zurr-En-Arrh set out to do just that. The Worldmind. Gestalt of the Nova Core, a supercomputer comprised of the brains of every departed Nova Centurion. Adora, Nova Prime, consulted the Worldmind during crisis. But what if the Worldmind itself was in crisis? Garthan Sal was the perfect Nova, or so everyone believed. So gifted, Garthan was inducted as a Denarian, above the entry-level Corpsman. He excelled to Centurion. So honored, so quickly, Garthan Sal was said to be the perfect Nova, the supernova. Tragically, he perished while pacifying a skirmish between the Reach and the Raptors. His brain was recovered and plugged into the Worldmind. So subtle was his influence, so gradual were the results that Adora learned too late how handicapped and corrupt the Nova Corps became. She ordered Zurr-En-Arrh to offline the Worldmind. Rule refused, but Centurion Roman Day believed her. Together, they offlined the Worldmind. Sal's brain was then taken off life support, and so were the brains of many within the Worldmind. However, Rule had already copied Sal's mind into a new body, one comprised of Reach and Raptor technology. Vowing revenge, Garthan Sal would remind Adora why he was indeed called the Supernova. Xandar, crown jewel of the universe. Headquarters of the intergalactic peacekeepers known as the Nova Corps. The planet is a gigantic generator channeling the overwhelming power known as the Nova Force. You can visit Nova Command, or you can witness prisoners being teleported to the unknown location of the Kiln. Today, Xandar honors the late Adora as she is joined to the Worldmind. And who is emceeing these festivities, you may ask? That would be Richard Ryder, hero of the Shida incursion and newest Nova Prime. Seriously, I've been gassing on and on for over 4 hours only to arrive at this. I'm sorry I led you to this. I think I need a moment. God damn it to the mother... Wait, have I been recounting things wrong?
I'm stepping out. I questioned you with an answer. You ran away alone, choking on words like fool and hope. Whereabouts unknown. No more hiding, I'm stepping out. No doubt, scream and shout. That's the way my urban legend starts today. You answer me with a question. I walked onward alone, coughing up words like friend and home. Whereabouts unknown. No more hiding, I'm stepping out. No doubt I'll scream and shout. Finding my way, my urban legend starts today. It starts today, my urban legend. No, you know, admit it. I'm stepping out. You would scream and shout. Scream and shout. Yeah, no more hiding, I'm stepping out. No doubt, scream and shout. That's the way my urban legend starts today.
An Earth displaced in hypertime, Zurr-En-Arrh was a rather surreal planet with a rather surreal hero. With childlike wonder, Tlano dispatched probes through a nexus point into the universe of Earth Zero. From there, he received footage of who had to be simply the coolest hero ever, Batman. And so Tlano decided he would emulate his hero. Moonman, Sweet Tooth, Professor Bubbles, Electro, Chameleon. All supercriminals fell before Tlano, the Batman of Zurr-En-Arrh. One time, Tlano encountered Moon Knight. Having met Batman, Moon Knight referred to his new friend as the Batman who smiles. But that smile would turn upside down into a frown when Zaba appeared. An imp from the 5th dimension, Zaba snapped Zurr-En-Arrh into a funhouse mirror of itself. He led Tlano on a chase through multiple cartoon doors. Gleeful, Zaba opened a door and stepped into the dark multiverse. Tlano locked the door behind him. Clever, the hero had placed the door in front of the nexus point. However, Zurr-En-Arrh remained a surreal scape, leaving Tlano as the last sane man on Earth. Desperate, Tlano ventured into the nexus in hopes of forcing Zabor into restoring Zurr-En-Arrh. Wandering the dark multiverse, Tlano became stranded on Clintar atop the Still Force wall. Hopeless, the Bright Knight surrendered himself to symbiotes. It was then Tlano went from being the Batman who smiles to the Batman who laughs. I am Eternity, and I take my time as I continue to tour Secret Crisis, the DC Marvel multiverse.